Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, we are joined by the pleated one himself, Dr. Pants, as we get teased by a new Generations Select figure. Magic Square Toys is bringing us an Arcee figure, and Shockwave Lab has an upgrade kit for Generations Select Rotorstorm. Today is Wednesday, July 9th, 2020, and this is episode 398 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that knows that anyone who disrespects the warriors of the past is destined to face the warriors of the future. I'm your host, Jeremy, aka Yakko, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team, Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
Hello, everyone. I love robots.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hi. I'm fond of robots. Let's talk Transformers.
All right. And Charles is on assignment, meaning he has family stuff. But we're going to try to make it through this week without him.
But aren't we his family? Or at least you guys?
I assumed I was adopted.
Yeah, this is the family that actually loves him.
Oh.
Wow.
As always, we will start off the show with our Donatreons, who are the awesome people that support us on Patreon and PayPal. They are the people that we do truly love. As we've been mentioning last week, with the beginning of September, we updated our Patreon stuff. We added an annual option where you can just do one lump sum payment and it's good for 12 months. And we also added a couple new tiers, and we have someone that upgraded to be a diecast Donatron, which is one of the new tiers. You know, Nick, who is one of our great listeners, did that, and he also took advantage of the annual option. And then also, one of our favorite voicemailers, John Borex Levengood, is now a Masterpiece Donatron. So 2 new tiers, and we got one person in each of them. So that's great. And thanks so much for your support. We will have more stuff to come on the Patreon side in the coming months as we finalize some art that we're having commissioned and that we're going to be sending out based on your level. You will get something with that art on it. So we have to have things squared away before we actually announce that. But that is coming, and it's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You also want to support us and you can't commit to something like Patreon or PayPal, we have a merch store. Go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop. It'll take you to our TeePublic store, and we have some great designs that you can use on shirts, masks, pillows. We haven't mentioned the tapestry in a while. You can get a tapestry with our designs, and it's all great, and we get a little bit of that cut back to us. And if you'd like to also support K-Girl, who does a lot of the art for us, you can go to teepublic.com/user/superstark, and that's her storefront on TeePublic, and she's got some great stuff there. Also coming up, if you check out the uncut version of Empire of Rust 31, this is an exclusive to our Donatreons. It came out on Monday, September 7th. And, you know, if you enjoyed Empire of Rust episode 31, which I cannot remember the title of, and Charles did not put it in here, so it's his fault. Get all the behind-the-scenes shenanigans and just another exclusive that we give to our Donatreons. So with all of that out of the way, let's move on to some toy news.
All right. This week, I am going to talk about a pair of Ultra Magnuses. Ultras Magnuses. Yes. 2 Magnuses. They are both Legend scale, and they are from 2 different companies, obviously. So the first up, we have New Age's H27W, which is their Conquest, and their H28 Octavian, which combined is their Legend Scale G1 Ultra Magnus. So this is kind of cool. You're getting two different figures, essentially, two different numbered figures, and together they are Ultra Magnus. So the H27W Conquest is a white Optimus Prime. No big whoop. White Optimus Prime looks really good, actually. The H28 Octavian, I have to assume, is the trailer, the Magnus armor. So combined, you're getting an Ultra Magnus. This looks really cool. Combined, it is 13.3 centimeters tall, which in archaic measurements is just over 5 inches. So there you go. That's pretty good. That's a lot of engineering in that small of a size. So pretty impressive. They are calling this thing. No, that's what they're calling it. So Octavian and Conquest. Sorry, I'm confusing the other one. Up next, though, the other one is from Magic Square Toys. It's their MS-B31 Brobdingnag, and it's their Legend Scale G1 Ultra Magnus. This one we don't really have a lot of information on other than 2 pictures of it in robot mode, and they're both CG renders. So in its robot mode, it also looks really good, but we don't know if the truck cab comes out of the Magnus armor. We don't really know a lot about this one. All we know is that it's a G1 scaled, or a G1 Ultra Magnus in Legend Scale from Magic Square. Let's break out the discussion here. Dr. Pants, what is your opinion on Legend Scale, and do you have any? And what do you think of these two Ultra Magni?
I enjoy Legend Scale. I don't have a lot of them, but I have a couple. I'm always really, really interested in some of the weird stuff they put out, like the New Age one here, the Conquest and the Octavian, where you're getting the white Prime, and then assuming it's the trailer that's going to form the armor around it. That's really cool, especially for a Legend Scale. And like looking at the picture, not only is the white Prime probably going in the armor, but it looks like the cab has opening doors too.
Kind of looks like that.
That's really impressive for a Legend Scale figure. And I'm a sucker for a lot of things. I say that on the show a lot, but I am a sucker for any Ultra Magnus that is a robot inside a suit of armor and not just the cab folding around the rest of it becoming the big robot. So I am totally down for this New Age figure, and I kind of want to pick this up. The Magic Square one, the renders look cool. When I first saw this, my first thought was, I thought Magic Square did an Ultra Magnus, and they did. It was one of their first ones. Mm-hmm. It was called Transporter. And that one always looked cool, but it bothered me because it looked really, really skinny for an Ultra Magnus, and you want him to be kind of big and blocky, and this one's looking that way.
Right.
It's really cool. As it is right now, I would definitely go for the New Age one, just for the full original Ultra Magnus gimmick. But if the Magic Square one does the same thing, I mean, it could be a toss-up. I don't know. They both look really cool.
Yeah, I was going to mention the fact that Magic Square had done one already, because I have the... what do you call it? The Power Master Optimus Prime version of that mold. They were very creative when recoloring that figure. So they turned Ultra Magnus into Power Master Optimus Prime. It was, quite a feat they did, but it is the exact same mold. And you're right. It is it's an interesting transformation to say the least, but the alt mode doesn't really work for Power Master Optimus Prime. It's definitely an Ultra Magnus kind of thing. I don't know. I tend to agree with you on the Magic Square side of things. If it doesn't kind of separate into two different things, right? A robot and armor, then not really G1, right? But the looks are, both robot modes kind of look the part. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on G1 Ultra Magnus, and does it fit your bill or your idea of the perfect car carrier?
I think it does. It's a pretty good car carrier. I like my car carriers to have missile launchers on the side just in case.
Oh yeah, I mean we're in the
I've seen enough Fast and Furious movies. I know how frequent carjackings can happen.
Yes.
But I like the New Age one. I'm staring at the Magnus mode and trying to figure out exactly how the smaller robot fits into the armor. I don't know. I'm trying to work that out. But I love the Prime, the cab mode. I love the look of that by itself.
Okay.
And the combined mode, I mean, it's spot on Magnus, and it really does look the part. And just being 13 centimeters tall, that's crazy that they're able to do this much.
It is quite tiny, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we first started talking about Legends stuff, and it was very simple. You were seeing all the ball joints and stuff, and here it looks like they took a regular figure and it's just shrunk down. I mean,
yeah,
the joints are not hardly visible at all, and that's fantastic engineering.
Mm-hmm.
This New Age one looks like it does. Well, it does, but it does more than the Masterpiece Magnus, because that one didn't even have the Prime come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're right. Yeah.
It's amazing what they do with this. And the only thing that I can kind of see between the smaller white Prime and the larger Ultra Magnus is the inside of the legs have those two like panel hinges.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, that's the only thing I can kind of see that's anywhere similar between the two, where that might show some of the inner robot there, but yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It might be very similar to the G1, the original G1 Ultra Magnus, where the arms kind of transform back, behind the figure, and then you just basically just slide this thing into the armor, right?
But I was just looking at the hips, and the hips on the big robot just seem kind of small for the smaller figure to kind of be in that space. So I don't know.
We're just gonna have to buy 3 of them and figure it out for ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
If they really cared, they would send us copies to review.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, come on, New Age. We'll review the stuff live, right?
Yeah. Daryl
Totally
will
live.
make a video.
Yes, finally. I'd finally put out another video. But that...
Well, I was just going to say, on the Magic Square one,
yeah.
I'm not as impressed with it. It's just a very simple render. I don't know. I want to see something with more detail. It seems very plain.
Well, these both came out on the same day, so I wonder if one of them got wind of the other one having this coming out, so they had to Magic Square had to put something out there to say, hey, we're kind of doing this too, and but who knows? Has been my opinion of just kind of watching the market, that New Age is just kind of taking over the Legends class, kind of field. It used to be Iron Factory, but they've got a very distinctive aesthetic. And for anybody that's kind of just wanting a shrunken down kind of G1 looking masterpiece kind of look, New Age is what's putting it out. There's some good stuff coming from, Magic Square as well. But, if you want the fans toys of Legends class, then that seems to be what Magic or New Age is right now. So, yeah, but this is cool. We'll follow this and see where it goes as well to kind of keep everyone updated. But that's it. That's all I brought to the show this week. Jeremy, tell me what you want to talk about this week.
All right. Well, the first thing is speculation that I'm sure will have been revealed by the time this episode is released, because that's just how things happen. Takara's Twitter page has put a teaser up for an upcoming Generations Selects figure. It has some Japanese writing that translates to "Wild Beast Warriors are back," and it very clearly kind of looks like a combiner to me, but I'm not sure exactly who it is. I mean, the eyes kind of remind me of Grimlock's eyes. I don't know if they would go towards a Dinobot combiner again, especially in Generation Selects. But Daryl, what do you think it could be?
I kind of had some speculation about this during the week when they kind of revealed it, and there's a couple things that kind of stand out about this. I mean, first of all, the head that they're showing of this combiner looks like Volcanicus. Like,
yeah,
it's a dead giveaway for Volcanicus. Will Takara just put out a Volcanicus? I mean, I think that they already did, but will they kind of recolor it and, do something else? What could they do? Well, there's a couple Japanese only, combiners that never got put out or still haven't been put out. There's Dino King, which everyone is kind of going for because, Volcanica is made up of dinosaurs, blah, 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 Dino King, right? So everyone's kind of leaning into Dino King, and Dino King was a repaint or vice versa, it shared a mold with Monstructor. So everyone's kind of hoping that, maybe Takara will remold it enough that we can get over here, or they can make a Monstructor, because that's still one that's missing. Out of all the combiners that have been done, Dino King and Monstructor are still missing off the list. So that seems to be what the consensus is that Takara is going to go with a Dino King.
Okay.
It doesn't explain the big red boobs and nipples in the back, though. I don't know what the hell those are.
I wasn't even going to mention that.
Oh, don't worry. I got you.
I knew it was going to pop up somewhere.
All right. Well, Dr. Pants, would you be up for a Dino King or Monstructor?
I love me some combiners. My entire top shelf of my display is dedicated to them, so I wouldn't say no to it. But I know that Volcanicus wasn't exactly the best combiner, and I skipped out on Volcanicus because I don't need Dinobots that combine. As far as what this is, it could be Dino King, it could be Monstructor. It definitely looks like Volcanicus' head. And the two red things in the back, I've seen a lot of people speculate that they look like they might be the hilts of, Grimlock's sword from Fall of Cybertron, and it might be two of those. With that whole Wild Beast Warriors are back, I was wondering, I have no idea what they would do, but with Kingdom coming up, would they do a Beast Wars combiner? But I think we only had really... Magnaboss. We had Magnaboss and Tripredacus in the American one, and I think there was one in the Japanese. It was it Magmatron?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes.
Yeah. So
I that guy.
I mean, all of those are just 3 bots, and if they're just doing Generation Selects, it's got to be a 5-piecer. So I don't know what they would do. They did do Tripredacus as a box set for, was it BotCon a few years ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, maybe they'll retool Volcanicus to be Magnaboss somehow or something. I'm not sure. I'm really interested to see what it is, but I'm also preparing myself for disappointment that it's just maybe G2 colored versions of the Dinobots as a combiner, which would be real disappointing. But
I don't know. I think a Beast Wars themed combiner would be good, but we haven't had any Dinobots in the War for Cybertron series yet, so they're due. And Kingdom would be the place to put it. But this is Generation Selects as well, so I'm not sure if this would tie in with Kingdom. When I saw the text Wild Beast Warriors, I was thinking more of the G1 Predacons, but then the silhouette does not look like Predaking at all.
No, and I mean, we just got a Predaking.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
But like I said, I'm sure this will be revealed by the time this podcast comes out. So we'll probably talk about it next week. Hate to interrupt you, Jeremy, but we got some breaking news. As we recorded the podcast, Takara decided to go ahead and release the information about Generations Selects Volcanicus. This is a redeco of Power of the Primes, Dinobots, thus Volcanicus, in cartoon-accurate colors. Plus it has new feet and hands, and 2 magma swords, which is, I guess they're the Fall of Cybertron-looking swords, and a new extra weapon for Grimlock. This is going to be a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive for the entire 5-pack. Pre-orders will be up from September 9th through October 6th, 2020 for 22,000 yen, which is approximately $207 US, and expected to be released in February 2021. Judging on how things have happened recently with these Takara Tomy Mall exclusives, I would expect this to go up on Hasbro Pulse at some point. And with our luck, it's probably going to go up on Hasbro Pulse or be announced before this podcast goes up. Be looking, and Hasbro Pulse has been very good with these, so I would think there's a good chance it'll be in the U.S. So looking at these pictures, I don't know any of us that are really fans of the Volcanicus combined mode, but I think the new feet and hands look okay. The feet look I don't know, they're a little odd in the back. Looks like they're guns sticking out the back, but they're okay. But everyone's here just for the Dinobots themselves, and I think having the cartoon colors makes them pop a little. I really like the way these look. Daryl, what can you say about these?
Well, with the original Power of the Primes Dinobots, I did build Volcanicus because my daughter wanted to. We were playing with the dinosaurs, and I said, you know what? These things combine into a big robot. And she was like, that was all she needed to hear. So she's like, we're doing it. Let's do it. So it was, and to be honest, my Dinobots still sit in Volcanicus mode because they're easier to store that way. But looking at them and comparing them to the Power of the Primes Volcanicus here, the golds pop way more, and that's really cool because, the G1s had the very, very beautifully gold chromed areas on them, and some of the parts on the combined Volcanicus, for the Power of the Primes one did kind of suck, like the chest area there right on either side of Grimlock's head on the Power of the Primes was just an empty area. On this one here, they've got these kind of black gun pieces that just kind of stick on either side. I don't know what they are. They just honestly just look
like
the
extra weapon.
Yeah, they just look like guns, and they really do fill a gap there that the Power of the Primes one definitely had. The new hands and the new feet, I really like the new feet with the colored toes, and definitely fits the aesthetic. The hands look really articulated and definitely, better. It doesn't really, nothing really helps the really broad shoulders that this figure kind of in combined mode really suck having.
And the thin waist.
The thin waist and almost non-existent torso. The ginormous swords behind the head, like the hilts there, that's exactly what you kind of guessed that those boob nipples were. That's what we're seeing here with the silhouette. The silhouette showing the face and the eyes, and the boob nipples in the back there is definitely the two sword hilts pointing upwards. It's kind of cool. It's a neat silhouette. I don't know how this robot would look behind him. It's huge. It's okay, I guess. I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping for some kind of complete recolor, but I don't think that gets done anymore. So it's cool, I guess. It's definitely an easy pass for me, I
think for someone that didn't get the Dinobots on the first chance, wouldn't be a bad option to get.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, how about you? What do you think of these?
So I am somebody who passed on the Dinobots and Power of the Primes because I wasn't thrilled with their colors and the combining didn't get me. And I'm looking at this version, and if they had fixed the broad shoulders, like this would actually be probably an instant purchase for me. I think the colors on this look absolutely amazing. I love the touches of blue, red, and green they put around it, along with that new gold and the silver now instead of just the gray. Like everything just looks brighter, and I love that they gave the Volcanicus head like the animation blue eyes for Grimlock rather than the red ones, because it all looks so plain on the original. This looks so much better. Those swords look great, and the hands look almost like the ones that came with Predaking, which were really good, solid hands. They may not be, but they look like it, and the feet are really cool. And I think there was an upgrade set that actually used those feet. Like they look like feet from an upgrade set.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually didn't notice the chest guns until you pointed them out that they filled it in. That looks really good. And also, is the crotch piece new? I feel like the original Volcanicus didn't have like a like pelvis like that with the black, the red, blue, green, and silver.
Well, you might be right. There's a comparison pic in the Discord chat.
Yeah,
so,
and I'm trying to like look back at it, and I'm having trouble seeing if there's.
It looks like the crotch piece is new.
I mean, for a set that not a lot of people seem to be super thrilled with, I think this goes a long way to making it better. As far as the shoulders go, I know there's upgrade sets out there that could fix that, but I might keep my eye open if this pops up on Hasbro Pulse, if it's not a terrible price, because I like combiners, I love the Dinobots, and this set looks cool. So I might pick it up. Ugh, God help me.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see this. One thing that I still want them to do is I want to get a set of G2 colored Dinobots. I think that would just be, so ugly, but so great.
With the way Hasbro Pulse is going, I wouldn't be surprised if I'd be surprised if we didn't, considering we've been getting a lot of the G2 stuff on there.
Right. So anyway, I think this is great. So I guess now we will return back to transmissions already in progress. The other thing I want to talk about is an upgrade kit. This is from Shockwave Lab. It's SL83, and it is an upgrade kit for Generations Selects Rotorstorm. It contains 2 engines/blasters that are compatible with the blast effects and 4 leg fillers. So I wouldn't expect it to cost that much because it's not a lot, but I love the way that the blasters look. It looks like kind of turbines that would also go on the side of his helicopter mode, and then the leg fillers, they look like they're just like black, so they do stand out a bit. But I think they do a good job in these pictures we have here. Dr. Pants, do you have Rotorstorm?
I don't have Rotorstorm. I have him on pre-order from my local GameStop, and we have no idea when he's showing up. But I'll get him at some point.
Would you get this?
Yeah, I probably would, because I was thinking, like, Rotorstorm needs those big turbine guns to go with him, so this is what I was waiting for. They look great. Looks awesome on the vehicle mode. Looks awesome in hand. It's the perfect combination of what he needs. I wish that maybe they had painted like the inside of the turbines when he's using them as guns yellow for the missiles that they used to use.
Yeah.
With those, but I guess you could always just put one of the blast effects in and make do with it. The leg fillers I'm not thrilled with, especially because they're black. Because, like, looking from picture to picture, I know they fill it in, but at a glance, it doesn't look like they filled it in at all because it's not the same color.
Right, and being black, it's like it could also just be the shadow.
Right. But I'm also not, like, I don't mind a little bit of the hollowness in my figures. It's when there's a lot of it, it's a big problem, but definitely for the guns, I would totally consider picking this up.
Yeah, and the paint job on the guns looks great.
Oh, yeah.
Daryl, you've been, like, you have this guy, right? Or the
spoilers for Trips to the Store, I do, yeah.
Well, I didn't, I thought you were going on and on about this figure a while back.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have the G1 version, and now I have the new version as well.
So is this something you would pick up for it?
I'm looking at it. It's interesting. I don't know whether it's $15 to $20 interesting, but I don't really care about the leg fillers, like Dr. Pants was saying. I'm looking at it right now, and to be honest, you really don't see them all that much.
Well, it's just a couple pieces.
Yeah, I know. The guns are really the part that you're looking for here, and they're massive on this guy. I don't know. They're cool. They're not colored the same way as the G1 guns are. The G1 version's guns are blue, and where the silver bit is.
And this is more meant to, I guess, match the cockpit silver.
Yeah. And I get that. It's fine. So I don't know. I might skip it because I just went through the weight of ordering from somebody that had Shockwave Lab stuff. So it was almost 2 months worth of waiting for this thing, and then it was screwed up. So, but whatever. It's a cool looking set. Yeah, if it were to come in, I might actually do what Dr. Pants said and paint that little tip in the middle there yellow, just because it does match the missiles that come with the G1 one.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is all I got. So, Scott, what do you have this week?
Well, to start off, I have another Magic Square figure to talk about. This is their MSG01 Peach Girl, which is Arcee Q version. Small, like super deformed chibi style Arcee, G1 style, but giant head, tiny body, kind of reminiscent of those. Is it Koro Q Transformers?
Yeah.
It looks really, really cool. It's about 9.5 centimeters tall in robot mode, and it does fully transform. The pictures for this look really cool. I'm really impressed with the detail they're putting into it, especially all the paint. Like, even on the tiny little legs, there's some accents there that look really good. I think this is adorable, and the fact that it transforms sells it for me. I love this kind of stuff. I love when anybody goes weird with a Transformer and does something completely different that you don't expect, and maybe a cute little desk bot. I'd totally be behind it. So, Daryl, what do you think of this?
I think they're cool. I never got any of those like Q ones before. I always thought that they were neat, but and I saw bunches of them at the conventions when I was there, but it was it was never really something that was at the top of my list. Not that they were expensive or anything. I was like, I don't know whether I want to get into buying them because there were tons of them. This looks cool. It looks fun. I like the idea that it's it's just a really fun little self-contained little figure. I don't see a picture of the alt mode. I believe you that it transforms.
There are pictures of alt modes of some of their other figures in the line.
Oh yeah.
Here's with Optimus, Ultra Magnus, or White Optimus.
Oh, okay, cool.
And, Motor Master, who looks like he has an old style judge wig.
I actually found a picture of the alt mode, so I'll post that real quick.
Sure.
I mean, it looks like the head is the entire back part of the car, but still.
Oh yeah, I remember this now. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, so I mean, if I see this at a convention, I don't know. Depends on how much it is, right? Like I'm not spending $40 on this thing, but it is cool. It's neat. I don't know. They're neat. I like the idea, but again, I'm not spending a crazy amount of money on it. It goes against the grain of my my collection. It's just I don't have any like deformed stuff, but it's cool. I like the idea and it looks good.
It is up on the Chosen Prime for pre-order for $39.99 right now.
There you go. It's $40.
But Jeremy, what about you? What do you think of this?
I'm a sucker for these like chibi figures, and I think this looks great. And the fact that it transforms is just a added bonus. In these recent times where we've had like so many kind of controversial female figures, like the recent Flame Toys Windblade and stuff, it's nice to have one that no one, like there can be no controversy over the look of this figure.
Except for the fact that it has a belly button?
Yeah, give it a minute.
I didn't even notice. But
I just looked at the one picture and saw it had a belly button.
It's a charging port.
Okay.
I don't know. But I love that when it transforms, the whole head is the back of the car. I think that's great. This would be a convention pickup, probably, if I saw it and if we still had conventions.
All right. Well, then I'll move on to my other topic. And Jeremy, I don't know if you're a soothsayer or what, but we've got rumors, unless you started this rumor, that the next Titan class figure might be the Arc. So according to Marco Madrai's reviews on Instagram and Facebook, New War for Cybertron Kingdom, the Arc would be in the works. And we've got pictures of it with Teletran 1 being a part of the design. And like we don't have much else. We can just kind of see a little bit of it there in the images. But I mean, what else would they do for a Titan class figure? They could do the Arc. Why not? I mean, I'd rather an actual like transforming figure character, but I know a lot of people want an Arc for their displays, and it'd probably go really well with Legend class figures. But Jeremy, you were the one that talked about it, so what do you think?
I think if it's a Titan class figure, it has to transform. Otherwise, it's just a big playset. I would love to have an Arc. If it transformed, I'm predicting the name would be Teletran, because that's the only thing it could be. I would really hope that they would do this, but I don't think it would sell very well as a Titan class figure. I think people want their Titan classes to be more well-known, established characters like Trypticon, Scorponok, Omega Supreme. I'm not sure if the Arc would do it, but I mean, if it did, it would definitely kind of be like the USS Flag for Transformers, finally. So I would look forward to it, but if it doesn't transform, it's dead on arrival.
Okay. I agree with you that if we want a Titan class figure, we want a character, but like thinking about it, what other characters could we do for Titan class anymore?
Yeah.
Like who's left aside from like a repaint of Scorponok to be Black Zarek, which is probably coming anyway, but
that would need to be like a Generations Select.
Yeah.
I can't think, like, especially going into Kingdom, I can't think of who they would do. I don't know. I mean, they're kind of running out of giant characters as far as I know.
Yeah. Because the only characters from Beast Wars who are big, I would think, would go into maybe a Commander class and not the Titan class. But
yeah, I mean, they could always recolor Omega Supreme and just do an Omega Guardian, but that's still kind of a generic character.
Daryl, what about you? Are you down for an arc?
No. This is, I mean, if it's true, then we're officially out of ideas here. This will be the figure that kills the Titan class. I've always wanted a giant arc as a playset, and I know people, like we have Dogcades that listens, and I think he's listening now, but he's built this elaborate display that he uses and takes really good pictures on, and he's basically built part of the arc, and it looks phenomenal. And I've always wanted something like that. I just don't have the time or space to do it, and likely the skill either. I probably couldn't pull it off. But to just use something like this to just kind of make it happen seems like a cheat. Like, even in G1, then when the figures were smaller, I wanted something, and it would still have to be huge. You'd have to have a USS Flag kind of thing, because it just, you want to put your figures in it, right? And if this thing is a Titan class figure, I've got them all. You can barely fit the littlest, what is it, the Prime Masters or Titan Masters. They're the ones that are scaled to fit on this thing. It's not plausible as an arc, if something that you want to mess with your, even your legend scale figures, they'll be too big for this thing. Personally, I don't like the idea of selling an arc. Something that transforms, there's no character for it, right? You toss around the name Teletran, that's, it works, but there was no character like that. So now you've got to sell an unknown character, but a very well-known ship. Maybe if it were the animated arc, and it turned into the an Omega Supreme or Omega Supreme, something like that.
That would make some people happy.
It would make a lot of people happy that were really big fans of that show. Titan class figures don't go to, that, niche, right? They don't play in those shows sandboxes, just because they're not as big of a draw. I don't know. It's a really risky move if this is what it is. Do I want it to be an arc? No. Will I buy it? Likely. Why? Because I'm an idiot.
You're a sucker.
I was gonna say though, on the topic of the size, because if you said like Titan class, it wouldn't be big enough. If they didn't make it a transforming character, maybe that would give them reign to make it bigger, because they wouldn't have to put in all the engineering to it, and it would just kind of open up, kind of like one of the old like Star Wars Millennium Falcon like Micro Machine play sets or something. Sure,
but it would have to, if I'm a kid, what's the most common figure size class that you're likely going to have? Likely deluxe, because most kids are going to have that because it's the most prevalent. You're going to want to have a play set or something to play, with your figures on that's going to be scalable with deluxe. You can maybe drive your cars and, stuff like that on the Titan class stuff if they're in base mode. But if they start walking around, they just look too big. It's just, it's not scalable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If they make it an arc, I see it doing very poorly. But all us hardcores that are do or die will buy it. I don't know, man. This is I don't know what else you could do. I like the idea of a Kingdom Titan being one of those combiners. It's not unheard of to do a combiner in Titan class. We've got 2 of them already. So, do a what's his nuts? You just mentioned him earlier.
A Magmatron or a Magna Boss or something.
Yeah, do one of those, a Tripredicus or something like that. You could do those. Big fandom for Beast Wars right now, right? So, and those would pull a lot of names, and that would be one I wouldn't have to buy. So, hey.
But you have them all. Wouldn't you want to complete the set?
Don't pull on that string.
How many Beast Wars toys do you have?
I have all those original ones, so I could probably just lean on those. But so I would rather it be one of those. If you're going to lean into Kingdom, then I would much rather it be a Kingdom combiner or something to do with Kingdom.
I would 100% be down with that because I'm a big Beast Wars fan and a Combiner fan. So, and if you get a Titan class Combiner, I will buy it. Definitely something I would do. Well, that's all I got then, guys.
All right. Well, let's move on to trips to the store. And Trips to the Store is the segment where we show off all the awesome Transformers stuff we got this week. We do this as a video on YouTube, so you can see everything that we got. And we also put the audio right here in the podcast. So keep listening as we describe all of our stuff in loving detail. And then pop over to our YouTube channel to actually see it. And without further ado, Trips to the Store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
I am going to start. As we discussed, as we were talking before the show, this is a comic-free week. So if you've been waiting for us to not have any comics on Trips to the Store, this is your week. I had a long-awaited pre-order show up, and I was actually doubting it would come in. I haven't opened it yet, but I got Earthrise Skylinks from Walmart. I ordered this months and months and months ago, pre-pandemic, I think. And
wow,
I'm looking
open
forward
it live on the show.
Well, I mean, I can open the box live on the show.
I'm just kidding. It's
I'm not going to get into all the different ties and stuff, but I am looking forward to getting into this. I've never had a Skylinks before. I'm looking forward to it.
A sad childhood, you must add.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I didn't have one either, but yeah.
But yeah, I did have a sad childhood.
Sad childhood. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is great. I was very happy when, like, I didn't even get a tracking email or anything. It was just, I go get the mail and I had a box from Walmart. I'm like, oh, well, I know it's not my Siege surprise kit that I bought, so it must be the Skylink. Looking forward to getting into that, and maybe you'll see it next week if I don't have anything else.
There's a marker. There's a price marker on on the shelf at every Target near me, and I have not seen one yet.
Find out when their truck comes. All right, well, Scott, what do you got this week?
So I mean, I'm only on once a month, and I've picked up a few things, but nothing too huge. So I thought I'd go back into the vault. I got my display set up, so of course I'm going back through things. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
That looks fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. I feel like I'm back home. I feel comfortable now. There's no hole back there. But so one of the things I wanted to show off was one of the last convention purchases I made in the before times. And what I have is DX9 Gewalt.
Nice.
And holy crap, I love this figure. Masterpiece size Blitzwing. Actually, probably bigger than Masterpiece because he's freaking huge. But all the modes look cool. He's fun to transform. I absolutely love this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I want to show off, and this kind of goes back to the show we were talking about, is because we talked about that Arcee that was like super deformed and cute, and I have some Koro Q Transformers.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
But these ones are special because they're not actually Transformers, at least character-wise. They actually are from the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion. So they're crossover figures. They have Autobot logos on the outside of them, but there's that, and it was a set of 3. So anybody familiar with the show, I have all 3 of the main Ava units in official Transformers crossover merchandise. And being the giant weeb I am, I absolutely love that stuff. So
those are actually like Takara Koro Q line.
They are Takara Tomy Koro Q line.
Wow.
Official crossover products, and like I said, I'll put it back here, and like there's the Autobot logo on the side, if you can see there.
That's nice.
And I'll have that, so yeah. I picked those up at another convention in the before times. It was like a $20 3-pack, so I couldn't pass that up. But
I had a Koro Q Megatron, and the last time, actually the only time I tried to transform it, it just kind of broke apart into pieces. Like the plastic quality was just degraded.
Is that the one that turns into a little gun?
Yeah.
And you can kind of like wind it back and it goes?
I don't know if you can wind it back. I didn't get that far. But it does turn into a little gun.
Oh, okay.
It was just bad plastic.
You definitely can't wind it back anymore.
Yeah.
Nope. But that's all I got.
Cool. All right, Daryl, you said you were going to bring the heat. What do you got?
I brought some heat, I definitely teased this or spoiled it earlier on in the show, but I got Generations Selects Rotorstorm, and he's awesome. I like this guy. The mold that they used is Spinister, and this is a cool mold. Definitely one of the best out of Siege. So if you have a chance to pick this thing up, this is just a phenomenal figure. The head sculpt that they used is just great. I don't know whether I'm going to get in tight on that, but
you're not. It's blurry.
That's too bad.
Put your hand behind it. There you go. Kind of.
There you go.
Yeah. So the head sculpt is really cool. Yeah, he transforms really well. And I tweeted out some comparison pictures because I do have the original Euro G1 Rotorstorm as well. And the colors, they really did a really nice job matching the colors. There obviously is going to be some differences because the original G1 Rotorstorm doesn't have 2 cockpits for legs. So, but like I said, they did a really great job with this thing, and I like it. It works really quite well.
So the original one, is it a Target Master?
No.
Okay, the new one, the guns look like Target Masters that are locked in the gun.
Yeah, because Spinister was, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
So the second one, second and third one, my comic book store that I help out at got some figures in this week, and I kind of jumped at them because one, I was waiting for a long time and definitely saving up some cash for. But just so happened on the same day, they got in a Snapdragon, and I picked him up as well. So this Earthrise Snapdragon is really quite good, and messed around with him yesterday, and I didn't really do a lot of investigating with him just because I was like, I didn't know that he was going to be a headmaster. So we've got Earthrise headmasters, and that's really fun. I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked that we've got them. All 3 modes look really good, and they're pretty good to transform from back and forth. And he's really solid, so I'm quite happy with Earthrise Snapdragon as well. So yeah, he's a good one. Pick him up if you can find him, and he goes really good with Ape Face as well.
I was gonna ask if you had one.
Oh yeah, definitely. The last one I have, this is the guy that I was waiting for, and rightfully so. This completes my Titans. So I got old Scorponok here. So he's pretty awesome. He looks great. The head comes off, and his head comes off. So I got 2 headmasters this week. This was crazy, Yeah, so I'm really enjoying this guy. He's fantastic. Huge, really solid joints on him. I'm loving it. They're great. I like the my daughter and I were looking at him, when we brought him home, and so this is part of the transformation. But if you open up the chest here, this is not supposed to be for anything, but you've got the inside here has the legs. They kind of just fold inside, and it kind of looks like some kind of monster, or some kind of area to put guys, and it's a really cool looking play pattern. So if you kind of open them up here, we were just kind of messing around, but you can open them up and you can actually stick a guy in there. So it's actually kind of cool. Yeah, so I actually like that. It looked kind of weird and crazy, but the chunky joints on this guy, I love it. So yeah, and he's pretty cool. They did a really good job on the head sculpt and everything like that. And Zarak is really good, a really good looking headmaster as well. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped to have this guy to complete my Titan class figures. So yeah.
Where are you gonna display them?
No idea. No.
So I'm looking behind you. I'm you got no room.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a little crazy, but all my Titan class figures are up there.
Oh yeah, on the bending boards.
Yes, on my bending boards, and I have all 6 of them up top, and I have no place to put them. Him up there with them. So I gotta find a place to put them there.
Wow.
We'll see. I'll figure it out. I always do. So
and then you'll use it for another topic.
Yeah. Something gets thrown into the basement. So, but yeah, that's cool. That was my week this week, and next up, hopefully I'll find a Skylynx, because Jeremy can't be the only one to have a Skylynx. Jesus, that's crazy.
I know.
Hopefully we all find Sky Lynxes.
Yeah.
Well, may Skylinks be in everyone's future.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for Trips to the Store this week.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from the Trips to the Store, and let's finish up the show with some convention news. In convention news this week, we had an announcement by Hasbro announcing Hasbro PulseCon. This is a 2-day live stream, September 25th and 26th. And they are going to have exclusives. It's going to feature Transformers, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and more. There will be panels and live streams with the various brand teams. Probably what they were going to have for San Diego Comic-Con. But when they announce things, the exclusives are supposed to be going live. And it will be broadcast on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel. So I think this is great. I think PulseCon is a much better name than HasCon. And they're promising all these exclusives and things to fans in the U.S. and Canada, Daryl.
What?
Maybe you'll be able to get a $20 toy with less than $40 shipping.
Hey, I mean, let's face it. I'm able to order from Hasbro Pulse now.
Well, yeah, maybe I don't have to order stuff for you.
It's just not feasible. Yeah.
So, well, what do you think about PulseCon? That's that whole idea.
Something's got to happen. All these companies are struggling to find ways to push out their extra wares this year. So a lot of these companies are doing stuff like this, and I don't mind it. It's fun and gives us all something to do and talk about, right? So yeah, I have no problem with it whatsoever. And it'll give us something to talk about. So, whether or not they reveal something fun or crazy, that's beside the point. Something like this is where I expect them to reveal a Black Zarak.
You're right.
Right?
Or a Titan class Arc.
No. Because it's stupid. But yeah, I mean, something big. They're going to reveal something big here. Yeah. But remember, we're talking about it because it's Hasbro does Transformers and we're a Transformers podcast. But Hasbro is also Power Rangers and Star Wars and
Ghostbusters.
All kinds of crazy crap, right? So what else when they had, what was it? HasCon, right? What else did they show off during HasCon? There was Magic the Gathering, and there was Nerf,
Marvel
and there was all kinds of other junk too, right? So expect this Hasbro PulseCon to be just filled these 2 days with live streams and, stuff going up on Hasbro Pulse and other various, partnered sites of stuff that is not Transformers related. Right. So if you're into other stuff, fantastic. But if you're just looking for Transformers stuff, this is not a 2-day Transformers convention.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
So hopefully, I think they are going to publish a schedule. So, I mean, we'll be able to just say, hey, here's the Transformers stuff. Here's the G.I. Joe panel. If you, feel sorry for them and want to watch the G.I. Joe stuff. The exclusive for Transformers will be the War for Cybertron Quintesson, Charles. Pit of Judgment 5-pack. Retail price is $69.99. That'll be cool. That it'll be another time to get that. I guess it's not out yet, is it?
No,
not the pack.
So
not the Pit of Judgment.
Yeah, so this will be the whole fancy box and everything. Scott, are you gonna check this out? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'll probably, if they'll have some kind of Transformers thing, so I'll probably pop into that, and I'll check out the other stuff because I have passing interest in other stuff that they post. I mean, I'll probably check out the Power Ranger stuff because, robots and whatnot still. I love robots. I'll definitely be checking out the Transformers one because I love all the stuff they've been announcing, especially the Generation Selects because we get the weird stuff, weird repaints, and I'm waiting to see if they announce a Black Zarak because I'd pick that up. I don't have a Scorponok yet, but I'm down. I'm down to watch it. I don't have to go anywhere.
We should come up with a bingo card between now and then.
That'd be fun, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
On things that they're going to talk about or real deal. And will Stoner Jimmy Fallon show up? on a stream.
Right. Well, we'll let's work on that and hopefully have it ready by the 25th. And
what is this? The center square is that what's her name? Rachel. She been the go-to.
Well, the center square is always free, but you're talking about the host on stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mention the host of this will be Sci-Fi Wire correspondent Jackie Jennings.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be that host that's been on everything. And I was like, well, that's a given. So
she might be on she's on the Transformers team, I think. So she might be on that panel.
It can still be a space.
I mean, personally, after watching what DC did with their first of two, what do they call it, the Fandom, I thought that was done fairly well and better than like San Diego Comic-Con's attempt. So
you
hopefully,
would, but you're biased.
Well, but I'm just saying, in terms of production values, like they had everyone set up with like green screens and mics and stuff, and it looked good. It didn't look like just a Zoom call. So I'm hoping that they take some production cues from that and do it like that. Do it more recorded stuff so you can spend time editing and making it look good. Don't do it live.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that is it for convention news, and that is it for transmissions this week. So, Scott, thanks again for helping us out. And where can people see all your stuff online?
Well, first, thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure to be here. And you can find me and a couple of my friends on Nerdstradamus. We have a YouTube channel where we do a lot of nerdy things, mostly gaming, but we do cover a lot of different stuff. We do music videos and whatnot. We've been posting gameplay videos of us doing really dumb games lately, so check that out. We're Nerdstradamus everywhere on all social media except for Twitter. We're Nerdstradamus DL, so you can find us there. And if you want to just follow me, I'm Dr. Pants 1412 on Twitter. Typically, I'm just on there talking about robots, posting pictures of robots. I love robots. I love robots. That's what I was waiting for. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that's it.
Cool. And Daryl, we never get to do this because Charles is, he's just such a hard ass. Where can people find you online?
Oh, wow. Wasn't ready for that. It was so nice of you to ask. I'm online on Twitter at Cybertron Beast. You can find me there. And I'm on Instagram too. I think I'm on Cybertronian Beast there. I don't really know what my thing is on Instagram. Wow, I was very unprepared for this. I'm so flustered.
This is what you get when the inmates run this show.
What about you? Are you online, Jeremy?
Only when I have to be. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, both at yakko.org, YAKK, the number 0, DOTORG. So cool. And you can find the podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is TRNSMISSIONS because character limit. And on Instagram, we are Transmissions Podcast. And we're also on Facebook. Just search for Transmissions Podcast there too. So anyway, thanks everyone for listening, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
I remember this was the first show, so I have to have more energy.
Yeah, wake up. Wow, y'all.
Don't disrespect my language. I'm bilingual. I speak English and bad English.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe you forgot to. You didn't order the right thing. Maybe that's not a mask adjuster. Maybe that's a sex toy.
It would not be a comfortable one.
Transmissions branching out in their merchandise.
Yeah. Hey, can we get Transmissions dildos?
I'm sure we could, but I'm not going to be the one that does that.
And you guys said you were doing pillows. Do full body pillows of the whole cast.
The Yoshi pillow would go crazy.
With monster dildos.
Right.
Yep. Oh,
Nope.
There he goes. He's gone.
He's gone, so just
Oh,
us.
it's just us now.
Oh, yeah.
Transmissions dildos. 2 for 1.
I could have. I actually went to my comic shop this week, but it's all stuff you guys have already shown off. I'm just behind.
Oh my goodness. Are we going to have a comic less trips to the
We
store?
are. I got no comment.
Oh my god.
Didn't somebody complain last time, too? Wasn't there a...
We've had a lot of complaints. It's like, drop the comics, guys. This is trips to the store. And like, Charles only buys comics. He doesn't buy toys anymore.
Well, until he gets Unicron, and then it's going to be a month of Unicron.
Here's the box. That's going to be week
Well,
1.
I'll give him the box as its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.